This ought to be fun. I talked to the owner here, and they tore up a deck that was over this area, and they're gonna let me dig. So this has probably never been detected. And you can see all kinds of neat things in the ground here. There's lots of pottery and broken glass, and there's no telling what might be here. You see anything good? Do ya? I don't. Not yet. But it looks like a really good spot. See some of these snails. See these snail shells all over the place here. I don't think they come out too much this time of year. When I was over this area last year, they were all over the place, crawling around on the houses, and it was pretty cool. Not sure it made any videos, but look at that pottery. Pretty, isn't it? Let's get the machine out and see what we can hear, because I don't see anything, but I suspect there's some stuff here. Today we're going to use the T2 in this little area. I have the big coil on it, but this is a really good coil for just about any kind of hunting. I just want to show you how I'm going to set this thing up for in here. I'm not going to use my normal settings that I would use out in the field because I suspect there's going to be a lot of iron. I'm going to keep the sensitivity at around 60. Discrimination, I'm going to go ahead and just bump that up because I suspect there's going to be so much iron in here it's going to be crazy. But I'm going to keep it in the iron range. If you go up to foil, see foil? That will discriminate out foil, but it might also get rid of your small gold coins. So we'll keep that down a little bit lower. Number of tones, that's like an all metal. With the one tone, I really like 2+. That's my favorite setting on this machine. And that's it. I'm going to try to ground balance it, but I don't think I'll have much luck. If you didn't like that. Let's go out here. There's no way this is going to work, but we'll try it. Push the trigger forward. Yeah, iron. Yeah, so it's not going to ground balance, but it factory presets like kind of in the middle, so we'll just use that for today. Or at least for this spot right here. Let's get to it. I just tried ground balancing over here kind of in the corner, and it actually worked. It's probably not too much iron right here. And it pegged around 41, which is quite low. It's almost like a marly soil that you might find in low areas, but it is kind of low out there, and it's very gray, so it might have a marl-like composition as far as metal detector is concerned. But let's get to it. So my first signal here doesn't sound too bad, but I suspect it's a big piece of iron because it's so large. So he's pegging around 80. And that's a good sound, but it's too big. So it's probably a big piece of iron. Goes all the way out to here. So it's a couple feet long. Could be, I was thinking it might be an underground pipe coming from the house. But I suspect it's some type of big piece of iron about this big. And I'm going to have to turn the camera off to dig it because I don't have 3 hands today. So I've dug down about 10 inches or so. And I hit something very flat. I think it's concrete. So I'm probably hearing a concrete lid, maybe a circular lid that has rebar in it, I suspect. It's probably part of the drainage for the house. So, you know, pipes will come out here, hit this concrete thing, and zip off into the field. This is what it looks like. See, I've dug down through here. See how flat that is? That tells me that, you know, obviously man-made. It's not a field stone. And if you take the pinpointer and listen, it goes off right when it hits that. There's probably iron reinforcing inside of here. And this is very common for septic tanks. When you go around any type of house that has an indoor plumbing or indoor toilet, it'll come out of the house, drop into a septic tank, which will be reinforced with rebar, and you can hear that very, very deep. And anytime you're around any house, you can hear that. And when you dig down and hit that concrete, that flat concrete, you know that's what it is, and you don't have to go any further. And you don't want to go any further, trust me. So we have a nice little squeaker here. This is my first good signal in this little area. I'm certain that's going to be some type of good metal. It may not be a good target. It may actually be that. It looks like a spoon handle. What do you think? Is that a spoon handle? A computer spoon? Let's look at it. Oh, that's exactly what it is. Cool. I'm going to donate all of my finds to the owner. They'll probably appreciate it as much as I will. I'm sure they will. This is a pewter spoon handle. You can see the mold mark right here. That's neat. I like that. That's a good piece of history right there. We have another nice little squeaker up under here. Listen. Right here. Yeah, there we go. Listen to that. Good number, 83, 85. That's probably like brass or copper or something round. That is not brass or copper, but I think it's right in here. And we're going to just use our claws. Let's use our claws. I should have gotten it. See, this has all been tilled over before and turned around probably when they put it in that septic system or whatever it is. Now let's take a listen. Yeah, see, it's moved. It's in the back part of the pile right here. So what I'm going to do, somewhere right in here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this up. I'm going to move part of it over here and part of it over here. I'm going to try it again. See, it's back here. Hear that weird noise? Listen, it goes ring, ring, ring. Listen. That's an overload on the T2. It tells us that it's something big or fairly large and close. I suspect it's this thing. Ah, yes. Do you know what that is? Sure you do. Actually, I have no idea what it is. I suspect it's some type of aluminum, though. Let's rub it off on our boot. A boot, or welly, whatever they call them over here. I guess that's England. Okay, what is it? I don't know for sure. You can see there's a hole right here. So it's either a tag that they nailed to something. If so, yeah, there's another hole. So this is a tag of some sort. Maybe it was a tag for this thing right here. Yeah, this might have been on the outside of a pot or something. But maybe not because it is metal. That's aluminum though. But we'll clean it up a little bit later and see what kind of writing it might have on it. That's pretty cool. I like it. Do you like it? Sure you do. As I said earlier, I have the discriminator cranked up pretty high so I don't hear much of the iron. What I want to do is go over the whole area like that. Then we're going to take it down a notch or 2 or 3 or 4 and we're going to go over it again and see if that makes a difference in what we can find. This is what we're on right now. We're at discrimination 36, which is the rock, which, you know, is hot rocks and stuff like that, and a little bit up into the iron. Let's just crank it up to, say, we'll go all the way up to foil and then back it down, back into the iron. 53. We'll hunt this area in 53, which is a high discrimination. Takes out most of the iron, if not all of the iron, except the big flat pieces. And then we're going to go back around again and try it very low. But just listen to what it sounds like now with that high discrimination. We're going to go over this area right here. I actually just swung over it and it was very quiet. And it kind of gave me the idea to show you guys. This is what you'll hear at the high discrimination. See, there might be something there, but see, the sound keeps going away, and that's because there's iron in here too. It might be worth digging, but probably not right now because we don't have a lot of time and we have a lot of ground to cover. See how quiet that is though? Listen to it. It's very quiet. Shh. Okay. We went over that area, high discrimination, cuts out all the iron. Now you know what? We're going to go back over this area with low discrimination. You're going to hear it, and I suspect we'll actually hear some squeaks in there that might be worth digging. Don't know for sure, because I haven't done that yet. But we're going to do that right now. Alright, we're at discrimination level. Push this button here, tells us we're at 53 iron. Let's back her on down. I apologize for the sun. It's very, very bright out here. Now I normally hunt right around 3, which will cut out a little bit of the ground and none of the iron, and it's usually very noisy, but you can hear between the iron. You might hear like iron. There'll be a little squeak of something good in there and then another piece of iron. And you'll catch the edges of that squeak and it gives you an opportunity to dig something really nice, whereas when you have the discrimination high, it just blanks it out. You don't have that little squeak in the middle. You just have blank, 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 blank. You just don't hear it. So let's go over the same ground with this lower discrimination and see if it does makes any difference at all. Again, I have no idea because I haven't done this yet. You're going to find out with me though. All right, so we are at 3. Let's just go from there. What do you think? Ready? Let's listen. Listen to it. Yeah, see here all that iron? Listen. Little piece of iron. And if I had the headphones on it, I could hear it better. I know most people don't understand that, but after you've been digging for a while, you kind of figure that out. You listen. That's something I need to dig right there. And I didn't really hear that when I had the discriminator very high. Yeah, we'll come back to that. Let's just listen some more. Right there's another one. We'll have to come back and dig that. I'm going to mark this one a little bit. This one is marked because of that, so we'll find those again. Here's that big screw I was using. With just a quick test like that, I've already marked and determined that there's 2 signals down there that I really should dig. Now, they may not be anything, but I suspect at least one is a non-ferrous item. The other one probably is non-ferrous as well, that we didn't hear when we had that discriminator way up there. And if I had my headphones on, I was really taking my time, I think we'd hear maybe 2 more, maybe 3 more signals in here that we could dig. I've marked 3 signals here, and we're going to go ahead and dig those. I went over the whole area, and those are the 3 kind of solid signals, not the best signals, but we're going to dig those and then get the heck out of here, because I really, really want to get out in the field, and we don't have a lot of time. First signal was under this rock. Yeah, it's bouncing in the 50s, so it could be something good. A lot of the hammered coins are very small. When I say hammered, I mean like hammered copper or silver. Where's that? Alright, should be in here. So what I'm going to do is grab some dirt. I can see it already. It's a screw, I do believe. Now we're going to go down to the ground. Let's see what we have. I suspect it's this thing right here. Come on down. I thought I saw a screw. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, that might be this, but this is probably iron, so it shouldn't make that squeak. Let's listen. Yeah, see, just a grunt. So it wasn't that. Try this handful here. This out of the same clump. Still don't have it. Try this clump. Yeah, I think it's in this clump right here. Hey. I'm going to take the clump like this. We're going to break it into 2 pieces. Try this clump. Nope. I'm going to set that aside. Break it into 2 even pieces. Try this clump. Probably that one. Yep. There's nothing in this one, so we can set that aside. So we know, we're pretty confident it's in here, whatever it is. Gold. Look at the gold. Do you see that? It's probably mica. Alright. So, 2 even pieces. No, it's in that one, but we're going to check this one again too. Quiet, good. No, it's in here. When I'm doing this in the field by myself without the camera, I'm doing this really fast. Okay, we know it's not there. I just dropped a little bit, so we're going to test this piece. Yep, still in here. Same thing, 2 even pieces. Now I can see something right there, so I suspect that is it. Yep, check this one just to make sure there's not a gold coin over there. Alright, we're good there. So this is what was in the ground. I have no idea what it is. Looks almost like a giant button that's folded over. It may not be a button. And it probably isn't. It's pretty light. It might be like a cap off or something, but it's fairly old. I mean, this could be 200 years old. Who knows? Might be 50 years old. But it's got some good patina on it. Alright, we're going to bag this one. I'm going to leave the hole open, but we're going to come back to it and fill in a minute. Sorry, if you look right here, this is a scrape mark I made with my boot, and I put some mud, so that should be where the signal is. Yeah, listen to that. That's a good solid hit. Very shallow. I can tell that's shallow. If I lift it up here, it kind of goes away, so I know that it is not a huge thing like the sewer lid that was behind us. Okay, right there. This should be easy to find. Oy. 2 more signals and we're done. Well, 1 more. I see it. Look. So I dug right here, popped the soil over, and this is popped out. It looks green, so I suspect this is what we're hearing. A piece of copper of some kind. Take a close look at it. Yeah, that's what it is. This is probably some type of gutter material or roof material that's been cut with snips. Or we'll check the hole and go to the next. I'll carry this out of here because anybody working in the soil will not be happy if their fingers touch that. And that's a really good opportunity for you guys that are metal detecting, especially if you're in somebody's yard or even if you're on the field somewhere. When you find something like this, make sure you save it, and when you talk to the homeowner or landowner, let them know that you're picking up dangerous things that could hurt them when they're gardening or plowing the fields, and you're actually carrying them out of there. And I always tell that to everyone, make sure you carry a bunch of iron out when you're digging in fields so that you can show the farmer that you're not just finding stuff and pitching it on the ground, that you're actually helping to clean his property and make it safer for him and his tractor tires or his or her dainty little hands, because that's dangerous right there. That's very, very sharp. Alright, well, off to the last one. So we know it's right in this area right here. And I'm going to pick up just a bunch of dirt and try to capture it in this handful, one handful. Okay, so I think it's in my hand. Let's run it across the loop. Yep, we know it's in my hand. 2 even pieces. No, we know there's nothing in there. Should be in there. Yep. Nope. Something very heavy in my hand. I suspect it's lead. Yep, and it is lead. Imagine that. Let's get a close-up of this. This is a small lead bar of some sort. I suspect it's actually solder that they would use to solder metal pipes together. I found this before in the States. But I'm going to save this and show it to my buddy Chill Bill, who I'm going to be digging with later. And hopefully he'll tell me it's a very important and valuable historical artifact. Anyway, let's head down the field and see what we can find.